Hey gang, my name is Jeff Ebers, and I'm excited to be able to take the next few minutes and talk with you about a subject that is dear to my heart, making money. Now let me tell you right up front that if you have a money concept problem, that is you think money is bad, you're not going to enjoy this presentation at all, because money is not bad. And guess what? Money's not good either. All money does is gives us options. Actually, it will amplify you. Give money to a good person and they'll do good things with it. And if you give money to a bad person, they'll do bad things with it. So if you're afraid that if you get more money, you'll be corrupted, well, this presentation is definitely not for you. Okay, I'm going to assume that if you're still with me, that you're open to making some more money. Now, before I get into the details of this talk, let me tell you a little bit about my dad. My mom and dad raised 8 kids. My dad was a Korean War vet who came home from the war and started his own business. As we were growing up, we watched our dad work harder than anyone else, but he was always working for himself. He owned a couple grocery stores, a farm, a bowling alley, a junior department store. He started a steakhouse and he developed real estate and more. My dad taught me that you make money in one of 2 different ways. You either make money as an earned income or you make money off of an investment or what he called a leveraged income. He taught us that when your money comes from an earned income, you're limited to how much money you can make dependent upon how valuable skill sets you possess, the market for those skill sets, and how much time you have. He taught us that if you want to maximize your income potential, we needed to learn how to develop a leveraged income as well as earning an earned income. He taught us that jobs were earned income and building a business and investing money was a leveraged income. He taught us that your earned income will make you a living and your leveraged income will make you a life. As we were growing up, we watched our dad build a huge leveraged income. And gang, listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. It's so much easier today to become wealthy than it was in my dad's day. Today, with the advancements in distribution, fulfillment, the internet, Skype, and Google Translator, you can, from the privacy of your home in Iowa, do business with a person who speaks Mandarin Chinese in Beijing and still make it to your kid's Little League game at 6:30. Gang, these are exciting times, and as long as we don't allow our government to steal away our rights to make a better life for a family through leveraged income, you too can build a dynasty. Now, here's an illustration as to the differences between an earned income model and a leveraged income model. The earned income model is your basic corporate model. It's structured and it's limited. In the earned income model, you have more positions available at the job entry level than there are at the upper levels. And the higher you go, the more money you'll make. The rules that govern the corporate model are simple. It's be, do, and have. Every position beyond the entry-level positions of a corporate model has a predetermined skill set level requirement. And when it comes time to fill one of these positions, the first thing that HR does is filter out the applicants who don't possess the right credentials or degrees. For example, if a company is filling a director of marketing position, they only interview people with MBAs. If you don't have an MBA, you don't even get considered for the interview, even if you possess the skill sets. It isn't fair, but that's the way the game is played. If you want to get interviewed for that position, you must first become an MBA. You must first be an MBA. If you got the B, then you get the interview. Now, just because you have the credentials doesn't mean you'll get the position. Now you have an opportunity to prove to HR that you actually do possess the skill sets. And if you have the B and you can prove to HR that you can do, then you'll get the position. And here's how that works in a corporate model. Your compensation for the position is based on the competition of the position. So what you'll have is a result of what the position pays, not what you're worth. Now, rather than complain and cry about how that system stinks, the free enterprise system allows for us to build a business of our own. And when you see the potential of the leveraged model, you'll understand how we can stimulate the economy beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Now, I'm assuming that if you're still with me, that you're not 100% happy with the money that you're making from the corporate model. So if you're looking to make more money, rather than go out and trade your hours for dollars in another earned income game, let's look at how to create a leveraged income that has no limits. Now, in contrast to the corporate model, which looks like a pyramid, the leveraged model looks like a V. There's no limit to what you can achieve with the leveraged model. Here are the rules that govern the leveraged model. It's have, be, and do. The first thing that you'll want to do to maximize your potential in the leveraged model is to start with your dream income first. Gang, if you could set your income, where would you set it? What kind of home would you be living in? How many homes would you like to have? What kind of cars would you like to drive? Where would you want to go on vacation? How many vacations do you want to take a year? How much money do you want to give to charities, to churches? What are the great things that you'd like to do in your life? After you figure out what you want to have, the next thing is to become the kind of person you need to become to possess those things. You'll notice that the B in the leverage model is not a superficial or political B. It's a real B. It's a B of substance. Before you get what you want to have, you'll first have to be the kind of person who possesses it. Now, how do you be? How to become the kind of person who possesses your dreams? You'll become like the people you hang with. Look for people who have the same dreams as you. Look for people who see greatness in other people and hang with them. Read books by successful people. Listen to audios by successful people. Watch videos by successful people. That's how you be. That's how you become the person you need to become to possess the dreams you want to have. Now, before I go to the do, let me reiterate that if you don't take the time to identify your dream, your subconscious won't know how to guide you towards its attainment, and thus the people you need to associate with to be the person you need to be. So after you've taken the time to figure out what you want to have, your dream, and you're willing to spend the time with the right books, audios, videos, and people to help you be the person you need to be to possess it, then here's what you need to do. You have to sow. You have to be willing to work today or to invest today with your compensation withheld for future payment. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote a brief on the laws of compensation that detailed the abundance of the universe. Once you understand that you cannot sow without getting a harvest, the sowing starts to make sense. But it must be done with the right motivation. Emerson states, and I quote, "Men suffer all their life long under a foolish superstition that they can be cheated. But it is impossible for a man to be cheated by anyone but himself. As for the thing to be and not to be at the same time. Gang, if you give with the right heart, it will always come back to you. You cannot be cheated." He said there is a third silent party to all bargains. Every stroke shall be repaid. The longer the payment is withholden, the better for you, for compound interest on compound interest is the rate of usage of this exchange. Now, some people might say there's got to be more to it than that. There's got to be more to creating a leveraged income than identifying your dream, becoming who you need to become, and sowing with the right heart. Gang, it's the law. It's the law of sowing and reaping. If you sow a seed of corn, after due time, it will produce a harvest of corn. You'll never get a harvest of tomatoes from sowing a seed of corn. If you sow good to others, after due time, it will produce good to you. Now let's take this do principle of the leverage model and put it into an economic practice, and let's compare it to the corporate model. Now this is just an example of economics. We're not making any income guarantees here. We're just going to share with you an income projection based on a leverage model program. And again, we're not making any income guarantees, so your success is dependent upon what you do. Let's say you have two different people who want to make some extra cash, Bob and Lori. And let's say that they each are willing to work 10 hours per week. And let's say that they each produce at a $50 per hour level. So each produces $500 per week in value. Bob decides to work a second job in the corporate model that pays him $50 an hour. So when he gets his $500 check for the week, he's earned 100% of his production. Nothing is leveraged. He's paid in full. Lori decides to build a leveraged model that pays her $2.50 for every hour that is worked in her business. At 10 hours for the first week, Lori only makes $25 for her first week. She has only paid 5% of her true production. Lori has leveraged 95% of her production, $475. She has sowed it for future compensation. Now, gang, if you can get this, you can see why a leverage system is so powerful. The corporate model does not support the ability of an employee to have true leverage. Your post is structured and limited. You are paid in full for your production at the end of every pay period. A leverage system has a built-in expansion component. Since Lori is paid $2.50 for every hour that is worked in her business, she is motivated to find other people who'd be willing to leverage their time too. Now think about this. What's the chance that Lori could find two people in her first week who have a dream in their heart that they can't get doing what they're doing? They'd be willing to become the person they need to become to get their dream, and they'd be willing to leverage 10 hours per week to get it. What's the chance Lori could do that in her first week? Look what happens in her second week. Lori now has two partners, each working 10 hours too. That's a total of 30 hours worth of production that Lori is getting paid $2.50 on. That's $75 for the week. Now, what's the chance that Lori's two partners could duplicate what Lori did and find two each? In week 3, you now have 7 people putting in 10 hours per week. That's 70 hours of production that Lori is getting paid on. That's $175. In week 4, with the same duplication, you'll have 150 hours of production that Lori will be paid on. In week 5, Lori will have 310 hours of production. In week 6, it will be 630 hours of production. Gang, that's $1,575 for the week. Lori was paid on 630 hours worth of production, of which she only worked 10. Gang, what happens in week 7 if Lori doesn't work? With the normal duplication that is built into the leverage system, Lori will have 1,260 hours worth of production that she'll make $2.50 on, which is $3,150 for the week. Oh, by the way, Bob had to work that week, and Lori didn't. And Lori's check was $2,600 more than Bob's. How many think it stinks to be Bob? Gang, here's the bottom line. We're a team of like-minded individuals who are always looking for other people who want to do great things with their life. If that's you, we'll partner up with you. We'll take our time, our money, our resources, and our expertise to assist you in building a leverage business that can meet any dream you have. Here's what you need to do next. You need to get on the phone with the person who referred you to this presentation so they can introduce you to the team. You see, this is not just an online thing. We're building a team of people who want to help change people's lives, and you can't do that without a personal connection. So give them a call and let them know you want to know more. And gang, hey, it's been great sharing with you, and I'll look forward to meeting you in person if our paths should ever cross. This is Jeff Evers, signing off.